Welcome to the underground, you rebel scum. This is the American Expat, and yes, we're starting quite late tonight. My son refused to go to sleep. He is a little bit too excited about snow day tomorrow, which is remarkable. They've closed the schools and there's not a single snowflake that has fallen as of yet. It says that there's supposed to be heavy snow tonight, up to 8 inches. But I kind of have my doubts. Something tells me I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning, there's going to be no additional snow, but the school is already canceled, so it doesn't really matter at this point. So, yeah, that's going to be the way that it is. So there's been a few things that I noticed in the news today as I've been going through it. One that really stood out to me was this crazy cartoon that they're putting on Amazon about the devil. And at first, I was kind of like... whatever, somebody's making a goofy cartoon that's meant to be funny. And then, I heard the audio from it and some video, and it's like, what is this? They're casting the devil as like some kind of misunderstood hero or something like that. It's absolutely bizarre what they're putting on there. I don't know if it's going to be popular. First, I was also thinking, maybe this is geared toward like grown-ups as a kind of a joke, like I said, satire of some kind. No, it sounds like it's geared toward children. It's absolutely bizarre. Probably if you have kids, don't let them watch that. There's a lot more also happening, like a situation with the what is it, the Panama Canal, where stuff isn't getting through. Yeah, get ready. Things are going to get expensive, possibly, or scarce anyway, on store shelves. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about anyway. So more of that coming up in just a second, so stick around. Oh, thanks for sticking with us. Before we get too far into the video, as always, I have to encourage each of you to join in the conversation. I'm not an expert in anything, so share your knowledge with us. Comment down below if you're catching it after the fact or if you're here with us live. Be sure to join in the conversation in the live chat. We'd love to hear from you. Whatever it is you have to say, just be sure to share it. I mean, within reason. Don't be sharing crazy stuff or anything like that, but if you want to laugh at my expense, that's perfectly acceptable as well. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on future live streams, which should be happening at 10 o'clock Eastern time tonight. Like I said, we got off to a bit of a bad start. My son, he as I said, he got pretty excited about the fact that tomorrow there's no school, and he just decided that he wasn't going to go to sleep. He even told me so. And normally that's not an issue, because he'll be like, oh, I'm not going to go to sleep. I won't go to sleep no matter what. And I know that usually within a few seconds he'll be asleep if he says that. But this time he was especially determined, and it turned out to be true. He just was not going to go to sleep. But fortunately he has managed to drift off to sleep now, and all is well. And we are here about 45 minutes late. So, yeah, it's fun stuff. I just, I don't know, is anybody else getting crazy weather as of late? I have been on Reddit, and according to the people on Reddit, this is definitely because of climate change. I had a conversation with someone on there, and they assured me that whether it's too hot or whether it's too cold, or even if the temperatures are normal, it's all because of climate change. Now, you would hear that and you might think that that's a joke, that that's somebody being sarcastic, but this person was absolutely serious. And when I tried to point out some of the, the ridiculousness in what they were saying, they got quite angry with me. And yeah, that conversation ended badly, I guess. I wasn't trying to offend anybody. I just thought, I'd point out how ridiculous that sounds. If you're telling me that no matter what, it's definitely because of climate change, then, it doesn't mean, and of course we've also read that there's, not necessarily any concrete evidence about it, but absolutely everything is climate change related. And yeah, I guess so. I mean, the climate, you can't expect it to be summer or spring all year long. I mean, it doesn't always stay hot or cold. I mean, unless you're in Kunming in China where it stays spring like all the time. I never believed that there was a place like that. I always thought, if only there was a perfect place where there's perfect weather all the time, where it's never too hot, never too cold, just perfect spring, autumn type weather all the time. I found that place. It does exist. It's in China. It's in Kunming, in the mountains in Yunnan province. And it literally is like springtime all the time. I wish that there was another place like that, maybe within the United States somewhere, but it doesn't seem that there is a place like that. It's either going to be too hot or too cold, and it's going to shift all the time. And you can't. If you do find a place where they have pleasant weather during certain times of the year, unfortunately, it's not going to stay that way. It will get hot or cold, but it's never going to be perfect. But in Kunming, if you ever get a chance to visit the place, you'll see exactly what I mean. I went from the hottest, most incredibly humid weather in Chengdu to there, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And that's the middle of boiling summer everywhere else, and here it feels like springtime. It's absolutely great. And it's the same during other parts of the year, as I mentioned. People will be posting pictures of flowers and wonderful weather, and they're hiking, and you're in the deep snow, and you're like, oh man, I need to go over there. But I'm not there now, and things seem a little bit strange. Well, I don't know. China, it's kind of a wishy-washy kind of thing. You never know what they're going to do. I've seen news suggesting, like it's imminent that they're going to invade Taiwan. I've seen other news that says that they just, did something on our behalf to damage the Russian economy. I don't know what's going on over there. I really don't. Who knows where things are going with that. But let's see. I see comments coming in here. Yeah, glad to see everybody. Wow, 22 days ago, 72 today. That sounds like what happens in Oklahoma and Texas. You get those crazy swings. It can be freezing cold in the morning and then the story as it goes, someone who's here would be able to say so. It'll be summer or spring-like weather in the morning, and by the nighttime it's snowing. You just never know. Or you get hit with giant hail or tornadoes or something like that. Just absolutely crazy. Let's see. I'm still snowed in, but it is January. Yeah. Well, that's kind of the way winter works. Especially if you get further out west, you can get that in the mountains. Here, apparently, just the threat of snow is enough that they have to close the school. I suspect that it's actually that they have some snow days that they haven't used up. And they're like, it's going to cost us a lot less to have the school not open than to have it open. So let's close it if we have any reason to do so. Now, I guess the weather did say it was going to be horribly snowy. We'll see. By morning, I may wake up and find that there's 8 inches of snow out there. I don't know. Maybe. Let's see. Constitutional Carpenter, nothing abnormal. It has been the driest year in maybe 15 years or so. Not anything I haven't seen before, though. And that's the reason that they're giving for the canal. Let me see if I can find that. Here we are. Yes, global trade. This is from the Daily Mail. Global trade faces even more turmoil as Panama Canal is forced to slash ship transits by more than a third due to drought, adding to chaos caused by Iran-backed Houthi rebels in the Red Sea. Now, I'm confused about this situation with the canal because it's my understanding that it's filled with ocean water. Am I wrong about that? Are they drawing water to fill up the locks in the Panama Canal from other sources? Because I'm pretty sure that the ocean hasn't dried up. I've never heard of a drought that is so severe that the ocean dries up. So it's a little bit confusing to me that why the Panama Canal would be facing this situation. I'm having a little bit of trouble believing that. It just doesn't make sense. Maybe I'm wrong and I don't understand how it works. Maybe they draw water to fill the more inland locks from other sources than the ocean. But it seems a little bit. I don't know. Bad timing for sure. Because apparently we have had more ships get attacked by these Houthi rebels, however you're supposed to say it, from Yemen. which no surprise. I mean, we're blowing them up after all. Biden has continued to do that. That's another article that I have here from Business Insider. The U.S. has moved from shooting Houthi threats out of the sky to blowing them up before they even get off the ground. Yep, we're just blowing people up all over the place, and now the situation in the Middle East seems to have exacerbated a little bit more even. It's no longer just Israel and Palestine and everybody else that was involved before. Now Pakistan is involved. And they're, blowing up, I guess, Iran. They're blowing each other up. And that's quite a situation. I don't know. People say like World War III and all of that stuff. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be World War III or not, but it certainly is a mess. And somehow the United States is involved in all of it. I mean, if it's in Europe with Ukraine, we're involved in that. We have the situation in the Middle East. We're involved with that. Whatever's happening in Asia, we're involved with that too. And there's also threats, or there has been threats, that kind of disappeared. The situation in South America with Venezuela and their neighbors. And, of course, the United States would be involved with that. And then there's our own internal problems that we're facing, which I saw that Donald Trump is doing quite well in the primaries, which I don't understand. Yesterday we were talking a little bit about this Nikki Haley character. So I guess she's third place, but somehow she's doing better than the second place person who's not doing well. And he's planning on dropping out, Ron DeSantis. And she's sticking in there for whatever purpose. I don't know why she's doing it. Maybe to use up as much as she possibly can so that there's less available from the GOP itself for the campaign when Donald Trump actually does get the official nomination, so that they can stick it to him that way. Boy, everybody's against that guy. It's like, anybody who's involved in politics, even if they pretend like they're on his side, secretly they've got a knife they're just waiting to shove in his back or something like that. And most of all, they hate the American people. Their biggest concern is the global community and not so much the American people and the American workers who need jobs but don't have jobs. I mean, we got to make sure that the people everywhere else continue to have employment and opportunities. I'm sure that people in the State Department and, that know a lot more about this than I do have their reasons. Like, well, we got to keep everybody on our side. And that means that we have to do favors for them, like take jobs away from American people and send them overseas. And I'm sure that people have been hearing about that for decades now, and it's kind of gotten old. But I'm really tired of seeing people talking about living wages at McDonald's. And it's like, boy, it's not supposed to be like that. The working class is not supposed to be exclusively employed as cashiers at Kroger and fry cooks at McDonald's. There's supposed to be something else there for people to do. And I mean, other than, getting online and trying to make money on YouTube or something like that, which don't try to do that because it's very hard to make any money from YouTube. I can tell you that. Well, maybe my situation is a little different. I'm not as entertaining as other people, so maybe it's just really hard for me. But I'm telling you, unless you're far more entertaining than I am, it's going to be a difficult venture. And let's see. Okay, we've got more comments here that I'm missing. Let's see. 15. That's the drought one. Alan Weiberg. Let's see. Growing up years ago, they called it January thaw, and now they blame January thaw on global warming. Unless, of course, it happens to be extra cold, in which case it's still global warming. You have to keep that in mind. The January thaw or the January freeze, whatever it happens to be, it's still global warming. It's still, climate change. It's all climate change, no matter what. And at least that's according to the conversation that I had on Reddit. It's all climate change. So remember that. If it's a thaw, if it's a freeze, if it's the polar vortex or El Nino or La Nina or whatever it happens to be, it is always because of that. And, even if you're having earthquakes, before we thought it was because of fracking, like in Oklahoma, they're having lots of earthquakes all the time. Before we thought it was fracking, but it's actually climate change. Yeah, it's all climate change. The Panama Canal situation is climate change. Even these wars that we're having all over the world, this is all because of climate change. I guess the temperatures are rising, causing people to be more aggressive. And so climate change has resulted in war and everything else that's happening right now. It's also resulted in, in this inflation that we've had trouble with. All of it is because of that. If it's not Donald Trump's fault, then it's definitely because of climate change. So just remember that. Let's see. Ark Livin still don't understand why there's not more people on this channel. Well, it could be my face. I don't know. It could be any number of things. I know a little bit more about it now. Part of it is just consistency. It was very difficult to get on here on a regular basis when I was, in China, for example, or even in Europe. It was just difficult to manage it. But beyond that, I discovered recently they have this new thing on YouTube's back thing where you can get on there and work on your stuff for your channel. I was looking at it. It was showing different channels that have been showing my my videos, or have been, basically some people had taken entire videos from my channel and just posted them on their channel. And they were all videos about COVID when I was in China. So apparently that has impacted this channel negatively from the start. And it has just had this shadow of a ban on it ever since. So yeah, that may be part of it. Part of it may just be that I'm not very entertaining. Which, by the way, if you do find me to be somewhat entertaining, you can hit the like button. If you don't think that I'm entertaining, you can also hit the thumbs down button. I'll take either one. But if you do that, be sure to comment about it and let me know why you hit the thumbs down button. Otherwise, I don't have any idea what I did wrong. Probably my face, most of all. Let's see. Nunya, Texas on the back 20 evening. Oh, everybody's saying hello. Constitutional Carpenter, we finally thawed out today. Spent the day fixing busted pipes. We're good now, though. Oh, yes, those broken pipes. That's something you have to worry about a lot, especially if you live in a place that doesn't normally get especially cold, where they don't have insulation. It happens all the time in Texas. I know that. People don't have as much insulation on their homes because it doesn't normally get cold. So then when it does, the pipes burst, and, a lot of times people don't know, to keep the water going a little bit. Fortunately, ours are all insulated here quite well. Even though I haven't seen, this year it got quite cold, but it doesn't usually get all that cold here. But we're lucky that everything is well insulated and we don't have any issues, or haven't had any issues. I heard about a neighbor having that. Well, that would be terrible to wake up to, water rushing out of the wall or something. Not something you want. You got to be careful about that in the cold times. Let's see. Nunya, Texas on the back 20. YouTube never lets good channels grow. I wonder what's going to happen with that. There's all these big channels. I keep seeing, I don't know, maybe it's just the algorithm. It's decided that I want to hear about that. But all these big channels, million-plus subscribers, people retiring, quitting the platform, not to go to other platforms, but just to be done. They're retiring. They probably made enough money, and now they're stopping. So you never know. There could be opportunities as people move up. It creates openings for discovery, I guess. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. Maybe some other channels will grow as a result of this. I'm not all that confident that mine is going to grow, but somebody might find some opportunity here to move up in the ladder of things on YouTube. We'll have to see. Let's see. Ungrateful Peasant. They won't just take Taiwan. They will hit the Philippines first. Yeah, I can imagine that they would probably try something like that. The Philippines have been, they've been being badgered by them for quite some time now, especially the fishermen over there. It's kind of ridiculous. I'll be honest, I don't think that they're going to do anything. I don't think that the Chinese are actually going to invade Taiwan. They know that if it went badly, it would go incredibly badly for them. And for now, they can always have it there to, as a punching bag or to rile people up in the mainland. to get support or to take their attention off of not liking things that the Communist Party does and focus on, like, oh my gosh, those Taiwan, how dare they, the breakaway province, and oh, how dare the Americans say congratulations, they'll always have that available to them. Let's see, Arc Living. Well, it's weird, Jake. I see so many that are controversial that get censored. A touch grows slowly. Expat can't get no love at all. Yeah, I don't know. I think on that part, it's probably consistency. Although I've found now that I'm actually getting on here more often, my subscriber count has actually gone down. So I don't know. I think it's just me. It's probably just me. Not necessarily, yeah. Maybe if I did something on here to be really, really entertaining, just turn this into one of those shock jock shows or something, then we would grow, but then we'd end up getting canceled by YouTube and it would be over fast. Let's see, Constitutional Carpenter, you're not wrong. There is no reason for the canal to be dry other than intentional drainage to dredge it, and they thought they could pull a fast one on normies. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure that the ocean hasn't dried up, and I've never heard of the ocean drying up as a result of drought. It always seems to be quite full. We have a lot of water on this planet. A lot of it is salty water, but it's there, and that's where the Panama Canal kind of operates, is in the ocean. So I feel like that's just, maybe they just really needed something to put an article, and they're like, oh, let's twist it in this way to make it seem more, it's because of a drought. It's the climate change stuff. It's happening, Let's see, None New Texas on the back 20. Yep, Jay is good. Well, I like to think of myself as good. I don't know about, maybe we could grow. If I was a little bit, good looking instead of just good, maybe it would work. I don't know. Since coming back to the United States, it happens every time. I go to China, I lose weight, I come to the United States, and I blow up like a balloon. I don't know how to get away from that. Must be something with the food. See, Ungrateful Peasant, the canal is owned by a Chinese company. They have been slowly draining it for a long time, and now they're backing the Houthis. Yeah, there you go. It seems that China comes up in a lot of this stuff. Half the time when I see the crazy things that are taking place in this country, I think that it's maybe the Chinese, Communist Party pushing people that they have influence over in our government to try and sabotage the country. It wouldn't surprise me. Well, let's see. Constitutional Carpenter, China has their fingers in the pie of all South American politics. Yeah, they seem to have their finger in a lot of places. But of course they would. I mean, we look at it as it's nefarious because it's being done against us. But our incompetent government they're the ones that have allowed this to happen. Of course, the Chinese as an adversary are going to do that. I mean, I would be shocked if they didn't see an opening and go for it. That's kind of the way things work. Let's see. Ungrateful Peasant. Now ships are forced around both horns, and interestingly enough, they may be able to hit overloaded Gulf ports from Cuba. Wow. Oh, man. Let's see. None New Texas on the back 20. It's going. Yeah. Let's see. Climate change, climate refuge. Yeah, the climate. That must be what. That reminds me of another story that I happened upon here from Fox News. Man stabbed in neck with sharp object at New York City Migrant Processing Center at Randall's Island. So these people that they let on airplanes without any kind of identification or documentation or even names. Well, there you go. They just let them onto the airplane. You and I, we have to go through the line and take our shoes off and do all of this ridiculous stuff. But these people that some of them are stabbing people in the neck, apparently, they can just fly without anything. It's just ridiculous. So, yeah, that's happening. I mean, if they have one of these migrant facilities, these migrant camps in your neighborhood, I'd be a little concerned. We don't know who they are. A lot of them could be gang members. They could be anybody. I mean, even here in this small place, I've encountered people, people that are speaking, they could be from France, I suppose, but a lot of that part of the world speaks French. Anyway, it was bizarre because people don't usually come visit this place. As beautiful as it is, people just don't really come here. So it was kind of a shock to have French-speaking African people at the Walmart. I've encountered that a couple of times now. Let's see. We're not used to single-digit temps in Mississippi. Not terribly common. I wouldn't think that Mississippi would get a lot of that. Having been down that far, that's pretty crazy. In fact, some of the most hot and humid places that I've been were in Mississippi along the Gulf Coast. Let's see. Ungrateful peasant. Even if they were all doctors and future engineers, like the media says, we don't have the infrastructure to support them. If the way that they portray this, if you're a doctor, if you're an engineer, you're not coming across the border like that. There's no way. There are lots and lots of openings for people to get, to come legitimately and quickly if you have that level of education and that level of skill. So the way that they portray it is absolutely ridiculous. There's no way that that's the case. The people coming across the border typically are coming over to do manual labor jobs. And in the past, as I've mentioned, because I was in California and I was around a lot of this, they're not, necessarily bad people. They're literally coming over to work, and they want to be a part of what America is. I don't know what this is that's coming now, where they're living in camps and stuff. That's really bizarre to me. I still don't understand that. Usually if you come over, you want to avoid contact with the authorities because you have no legal status. I mean, yeah, it's just ridiculous. They're the kind of thing where, you get into an accident or something and the guy's like, here, take this money and just don't say anything don't call the cops. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then they're gone. That sort of thing. Hopefully that doesn't happen to anybody, but I'm just saying, whatever is going on right now is very different than the normal people coming across the border. And they don't usually come in giant columns waving flags and chanting things, That's really abnormal. Well, I guess it's been becoming kind of normal over the last little bit. We've been seeing a little bit more of that. But, that's not the way that things have been in the past. People come here to work, not to sit in camps and schools. So, really strange sort of thing to see. Let's see. So other than that, man stabbed. Here's something interesting. I came across this. So we all know that the social media companies are very good at finding people that are of certain political leanings and censoring them and doing all kinds of things to them. That seems to be the priority. I mean, it just came out that I guess the FBI, if you go buy a Bible or you go to shop at Cabela's or at the Bass Pro Shop, that they start watching you. You get some sort of like possible terrorist, status or something with them so that they start watching you because you buy Bibles. And yet, here we have this about Meta. So that would be, Facebook and Instagram. It says Meta, this is from The Guardian, Meta documents show 100,000 children sexually harassed daily on its platforms. It's good that I guess that they know. Well, maybe it's not good. They know about it, but nobody has done anything to stop it. Employees fretted over company's negligible response to child grooming, which is apparently a naughty word here, according to internal documents made public. This is so frustrating to me. There are, some of the worst kinds of crimes taking place on a regular basis, and nobody does anything about it. But if you go buy a Bible, then they're going to start watching you like you might be a terrorist. That really, really bothers me. I can't believe that this is happening. If I was in China and I had a Bible, they wouldn't care. I mean, maybe if I started handing it out to people. But, I know what to expect over there. Here, I never would have imagined that if I went and bought a Bible at the store, that the government's going to be watching me like I might be a terrorist. I mean, you know how the Bible teaches everybody to go and attack your neighbor and all that. Really bizarre. We live in some very strange times. I understand that there are people out there that really, really hate Christians. I can't understand the hatred, but I guess, kind of like that lady on MSNBC that was so like, oh, it's because of white Christians that Donald Trump got the nomination. It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe there are a lot of people like that in the Biden administration. It wouldn't surprise me based on the kinds of people they have there. They probably really do hate Christians, but there's the FBI going after him. I liked what Vivek Ramaswamy was saying about getting rid of the FBI. I hope that he can convince Donald Trump maybe to do something like. I mean, if the FBI is not fulfilling its purpose, like stopping bank robbers and all of that, then maybe they do need to go away. I've kind of thought, maybe we can get rid of them and just change it to be like a resource that's available to local law enforcement. So if they have something, they have, bigger resources that they can draw upon, laboratories, that sort of thing, that otherwise wouldn't be available to them. But maybe get rid of the police force aspect of it, because as far as I can tell, and this is terrible because I've known people that worked at the FBI, and I'm sure that they're not like these people, but right now it just seems like the FBI, all they do is create crimes so that they can rush in like they're saving the day, and they completely ignore actual crimes that are taking place, like what's happening on Meta platforms. Nobody's doing anything about that. That's just infuriating to me. Now let's see if there's anything else on here. I see we've been talking for about 30 minutes. Oh, am I missing anything? Oh, yes. This was something interesting that I saw before I get off of here. Apparently, they did some gene editing to a pig liver and put it in a person, and it worked for 3 days. I guess, giving you 3 days of life is somewhat helpful, but I wonder if they're ever going to get better at that. There must be a better way than growing livers in pigs. But I guess maybe they're making progress. I don't know. How would you feel if they were going to, we're going to put a pig liver in you. Okay. I guess if it gets me a couple more days, something like that. But anyway, yeah. The last thing that I had was about barcodes. Apparently they're looking to get rid of barcodes. They're going to be switching for those QR code things. I was thinking maybe they were going to switch to the RF tags. I've heard of a lot of stores doing that, where they're going to have RF tags, and then they know exactly where items are in the store, and there's no scanning. You just, it knows what it is. But I guess they're not quite there yet. Let's see. Constitutional Carpenter, I was checking the numbers yesterday. It's over 10 million since Biden. That's more than most states. More than 3 times my state's population. Yeah, it's a lot of people. Think about that. That's like New York, 10 million people. And that's a big city. That's a big city. It's not, that's a lot of people. That could really, really change the dynamic of a place with that many people. I just don't understand the whole camp situation. I will hope that most of those people are going off to work somewhere, but I don't know. Let's see. We don't need FBI. Put out of state warrants can just go to bail enforcement agents and marshals. Yeah, exactly. We've already got something there. We don't need the people to come in and make up crimes so that they can arrest people and pretend to be heroes. I feel terrible saying that. I honestly do. I feel terrible saying that because I know there are good people that work at the FBI that do good work, but I guess they can go work for some of these other agencies or local law enforcement instead of the FBI because, well, the FBI has been turned into a total joke at this point anyway. See, Wild Man of the North, snow here has stuck to the ground longer here in Arkansas than it has for the last 13 years. Waiting for the melt to drive a golf cart. I just got, that climate change, it's getting all of us. And with that, I better go ahead and end this. Before I go, again, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on future live streams. They should be 10 p.m. Eastern time every day. Also, be sure to comment and hit the like button. And I guess I will see you guys in the next one. ไฟพะวงหลงเฝ้าสาวเจ้าบางปะกงพางวยงงหลงเกอหาโอเวรกรรมจำพราก